This is the House Bar Show, wow, and a guitar note, and then progressive, and all. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Hey, Hal, did you mean something like this?
This is the House Bar Show, wow, and a guitar note, and then progressive, and all. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
The Hal Sparks radio program, mega worldwide.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I love that enormously enormous break ends with like Matrix fight music, like or like I'm a football team.
It's on.
Right, yeah. And by the way, I'm glad that break gave John and I enough time to discuss the
Bionic Woman.
Adrenaline, I think, was the drug in the Bionic Woman that Jamie Summers
It's worth a Google.
Yeah, I think it's adrenaline, I want to say, because it was supposed to be like some hyped up version of adrenaline, and but it gave her the exact same powers as Jamie Summers instead of just made her super. And
The episode is called Deadly Ringer.
And what was the?
I'm on the Bionic Wiki.
Okay, good. Thanks. Am I on? I should be on the Bionic Wiki.
Yeah, a surgically altered lookalike, Lisa Galloway.
Mm-hmm.
Adrenalizine.
Adrenalizine, right? I was close. I mean, come on.
You were really close.
Come on, really close. Adrenalizine, right? Which is just like whatever. And I bet you
It was accidentally produced by Dr. Rudy Wells.
Well, yeah, that's going to happen, Rudy.
Rudy tested such on a paralyzed volunteer convict. You know those volunteer convicts?
Oh yeah. All convicts are volunteers, you know, right? God. And so, anyways, this like,
and because it was accidentally produced, he couldn't remanufacture it. The supply was thus limited. Okay,
right.
This is it. Our show is taking a turn. It is now the Bionic Woman show.
Yes, that's right.
Not the $6 million man.
No.
Ooh.
Who would? Yeah, I mean, why Netflix hasn't done the $1 billion man at this point? I don't know, because that's about how much it would really cost. The fact that, I mean, talk about inflation. That you could have a whole bionic man for $6 million. You can't get a house in the hills in San Francisco for that right now.
Hey-o.
If somebody's like, let's see, create a bionic Superman who can save lives or whatever. I don't know. The view in this place is really nice. You can see the bay. It's a little chilly. No bugs. That's a great thing.
That's huge.
The horrible consumer decisions between bionic limbs, and the ability to turn a multiple amputee into a superhero, or a down payment on a house in Beverly Hills. $21 million house, and you got to put down $6 to get there. Or, all right, your own bionic guy, right? This is funny, yeah. So this is next week is the Frank-a-Thank-a-thon, and I don't know if you know this.
No.
That yes, Mike Lindell is doing another one of his 3-day marathons because the last one worked so well.
Does he sleep during these?
Yeah, no, the idea is that he comes running out like, we're going to stay on the air for 96, like he's going to sit on a toilet behind, that they cover in tarpaulin. And somebody's going to have like a thing that slides small sandwiches into his mouth. And,
right, yeah.
And,
it's just
it's like,
sort of drip.
like mini burger Twinkie. And then it just kind of, no tangerines. Because he was attacked
hungry
by one
a minute ago. I'd like a mini burger Twinkie, please. He's going to have another one of these starting on midnight, Wednesday night, / Thursday. Just in time for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because that's when you start a live stream, is at midnight on a day. Like he's selling tickets to a blockbuster film. Or it's his own version of Black Friday it's the Black Friday of ideas. It really starts, and these are, Mike Lindell. He's just like Trump. These folks who measure from their bunghole, as it were, to and tell you length. So this I mean, it's amusing, and I don't want anyone to get upset by watching, like, how do they let this out? It's an attack our democracy. No, it is not. It's no more than a game of badminton is an attack on Northrop Grumman or Boeing. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, none of this matters. Hi, Chip. Are you coming in? My cat Chip has decided to. No, you can't. Hi, buddy. Yeah. Hello.
Chip.
He wants
Chip.
To yeah, Chip wants to say
Come
hi.
talk to us, Chip.
Yes, I'm in the middle of something very important. There's a story in the Daily Beast, which, can we just have more of these, please? More,
Bring it.
because these are so. The title is "Americans Chasing Down Trump's Wild Election Conspiracy Snuck into a Mafia Prison in Italy." I mean, please, that how could you? What could possibly be wrong about?
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
So,
Hi, buddy.
so there's a prison. Oh, Chip. So there's a prison
Chip.
in Italy that is specifically for mafia.
Full of mafiosos,
prisoners.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So there, there's been a big back and forth. For those of you that have not watched any of Mike Lindell's, docu movies, which I have, I've watched all of them on live streams. If you want to go back and look, I don't recommend it. It's a horrifying endeavor. I didn't want to have to suffer through them again. Some of them took as much as 6 hours to get through because they were so long, tedious, and full of lies. I had to stop every 2 sentences, sometimes every third word, to debunk garbage that they kept repeating over and over, and none of it stood up. But in the process, there's this is a cash cow for him. He's making money on this, kids. This is a real, this is the only place he's selling My Pillows right now. And he decided a while back, and this is, all the books on the one thing and branding and all the stuff that you've heard about, like, kind of micro focusing on an audience, which I have refused to do. I'm a master generalist, and I plan on staying that way. I want to appeal to as many people as possible all the time. But people like Mike Lindell have given up on the idea of consensus and have decided to narrowcast what they're selling. And they recognized that the feverish Trumpian, maggot crowd, if you just play to them and play on their side, they will buy one of everything you have. And there's enough of those folks that it saves you a lot of marketing money, because all you have to do is aim at them, and that's your fiscal year. That's all the money you need to make. If you're going to, selling one pillow or two pillows to a lot of average Americans is never going to compete with getting all the maggots to think that you're the only person standing between Donald Trump and the White House, or the only conduit to him actually doing it, and getting them to buy one of everything you have. And that's what he's doing. That's 100% what it is. He's all in. The cross he wore around his neck and all these things was always a marketing ploy. And by the way, Chip is about to jump in a cardboard box right next to me. So if you hear a giant noise, that's what it is.
He also licked your Apple Watch, which I kind of enjoyed.
Yes, he did. He bites it. It gives off a vibe or something. Cats and Apple Watches. It's like they're trying to warn us. So this is what Lindell is doing. This is Lindell's entire strategy, and it works. It is a functional strategy, but its remnants, its cast-offs in the real world involve. In Rome, one of QAnon's wildest conspiracies claimed that the U.S. presidential election has been stolen from Trump with the help of 2 small-time Italian hackers who had somehow hijacked a satellite in order to change the results being counted on American voting machines. It is now clear that this bizarre story was not confined to the darker corners of the QAnon conspiracy network. The power of the U.S. State Department may have been pushed into action trying to prove this that this was how Biden stole the election. So, Trump's White House, the State Department was trying to, maybe there's something to this. An Italian prison official and a lawyer for the alleged hacking mastermind have told the Daily Beast that 2 Americans gained illicit access to one of the hackers inside an Italian prison, best known for its mafioso inmates, in the dying days of Trump's term in office in a desperate bid to chase down this insane conspiracy. The prospect of the U.S. State Department working on this theory was first raised last June when classified emails were released about the so-called, quote, Italy-gate conspiracy and fleshed out in Jonathan Karl's book, Betrayal, which scratches the surface of the controversy. Thank God, another piece of good news. We got to take a break. But thank God that January 6th and the perpetrators of it and every conspiracy theory that Trump and his buddies have put forward has been completely fabricated by morons. If these people had any brains at all, we would have lost our country. But thank God that when the Republicans finally decided to elect a complete maniac, he also turned out to be a complete idiot. That is the blessing in disguise of Trump and hashtag the best people. We'll be back after this.
Psycho, the Psycho American.
You're listening to the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
I've had people walk out of me before, but not when I was being so charming.
Video streaming at halsparks.com.
I don't care for you or for the putrid sludge you're troweling out.
Puss-faced little pimp stick.
True progressive talk.
Might be a good time for you guys to give up.
So I love me
I
some
love
wacky.
him.
I love him. I love some. I just enjoy to the depths of my soul the wackier of the QAnon stuff from an observational standpoint. Interpersonally, whenever you talk to somebody who genuinely believes this stuff, you're clear that either this person is slipping into genuine insanity and it's a little frightening, or you're concerned that they may be having a stroke or something and they need immediate medical attention. In the case of, and I've got to open this up. In the case of this story, we were just teasing before the break, on the Daily Beast, and that's reaffirmed in Jonathan Karl's book. That's that talks about, as many books are coming out about the last few days of the last 3 months of the Trump presidency, which is the crucial part, the part that led up to January 6th. Where with a wanton disregard for the value of human life, a total disdain for our American way of justice and elections, Donald Trump set forth a plan of stochastic terrorism to attack the Capitol using his followers by using kind of sideline, mafia-like language. It'd be a shame if somebody was to burn this place
Nice
down.
country you got here.
But yeah, exactly. It'd be a shame if somebody didn't like what you were doing. Right, with our elections, right? We're going to walk down there peacefully and patriotically. When we get there, though, right, that's the turning point. That's the stochastic terrorism part. We're going to walk down peacefully because I plan on seizing power and I don't want you to ruin the grass because I have this plan to turn the Washington Mall into a golf course eventually. Like a giant mini golf course where the Washington Monument is the biggest challenge on the course. But once we get down there, we're going to have to act with strength, and you're going to have to take your country back, and you're going to have to be powerful and strong. Why would you have to be powerful and strong if you're just going to stand there patriotically and raise your voice? What's the wind blowing? Is there going to be a snowstorm? Why would you have to be powerful and strong? Why? Right?
Wind blowing.
Yeah, right. What is it? I know it's raining, but you're going to have to withstand the rain while you stand there and with your candlelight vigil on the steps of the Capitol, begging Mike Pence to do the right thing for our nation, right? That's what he meant? Please. So that part of it, and again, thank God it was the cuckoo. The cuckoo, was led by morons, and we've, as a country, we dodged a rubber bullet on this one.
The cuckoo.
Yeah, I call it the cuckoo because it was all crazy people. And which is played out in some of the ancillary folks that are dealing with this. The Christina Bobs of the world, the Melissa Caroni, who is now running for office in Michigan, which is going to be a gorgeous endeavor as people bring up the fact that she pled down to her computer fraud charge that she was when she was just had a month out of her probation when she got her job fixing jammed paper for a Dominion subcontractor on election day, and told everybody she was a Dominion employee, which is a lie, and she said it under oath. But that's fun, along with the fact that Johnny, do you know, many of the people in our chat know because it's hysterical and amazing and bizarre, and I don't, it was one of the few things that's actually surprised me in the last few years. Do you know what she pled down from? You know what her charge? Melissa Caroni, you remember her, right? The blonde wine, box wine drunk lady with.
Is that the? Do you know? Is that the one she was like testifying like a crazy person?
That's right. That's right. You don't even know that her.
Yeah, you don't know.
Do you know? Do you know what she pled down from to computer fraud and got a year of probation? She was charged initially with first-degree obscenity.
Oh my!
Exactly. I didn't even know what that was. I'm still amazed. There's such a thing as first-degree obscenity.
I kind of feel like I've got something to strive for now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you and I have always been like misdemeanor third degree at best.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah. Well, what she did was she sent explicit videos of herself and her boyfriend having sex to his ex and their minor child. That's first degree. That's apparently what first degree obscenity is. And she was allowed to plead down. Yeah, she was allowed to plead down because they had a hard time proving that her defense was I just got into his phone and accidentally sent it to the kid. I meant to send it to just her. But she, so they allowed her to plead down rather than waste a bunch of money on it.
Yeesh.
And she got a year's probation for computer fraud, for breaking into the device, whatever it was, his laptop or his phone or whatever, to send the videos. And she was just a month out of that probation when she went to work for Dominion, a Dominion subcontractor fixing paper jams, because that's all she's good for in that circumstance. So, and we all, and the fact that she's running in Michigan will cause no genuine harm and will be just it will be a fruitful tree of silliness we can all pluck something off of and enjoy every so often, because it will mean nothing. But the story that we were talking about right before we went to break, where a report from Barbie Nadeau, she states that reports on the access to the two prisoners in the Italian mafia jail, the hackers that were in there, set off alarm bells in the State Department, which launched an investigation. The report notes an earlier report on a conspiracy rumor in QAnon circles that the hackers somehow hijacked a satellite in order to change the results being counted on American voting machines. Now, I don't know how the Italians and the Chinese got into it together, and they managed. The Italians and the Spanish were going to change the votes.
Q-snatch.
Well,
duh. I just learned. You just told me about it.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't know, folks, and you think Johnny's just being gross on the air, the evidence Mike Lindell put forward in his very first special, Absolute Something or Other, he had a guy on it from Texas who believes that the majority of the voter fraud in the United States happens in the state of Texas, which kind of undermines the idea that it helps Biden and not Trump, seemingly, but okay. And that all the votes, they practiced it for years, sending all of Texas's votes to Spain via...
piece of malware called Q-snatch.
That's what he calls it, a piece of malware called Q-snatch.
Q-snatch.
Which predates QAnon by years, apparently. And this guy has been telling the elected officials in Austin about...
piece of malware called Q-snatch.
Something about the way he says malware.
Yeah, malware called... Yeah, absolutely. They believe that that's part of this. This is how they did it. They had to use this malware called...
Q-snatch.
So they had to use this malware so they could get the votes, ricochet them off of a satellite to Italy, and then they would do the digital part while the Chinese would print these, fake paper ballots with panda poop in them and bamboo or fibers or whatever, mail those to, of course, black Democratic get out the vote campaign people
Right on.
in places like Georgia and other states, and that they would swap those out in coordination with the Italian mafia. And
That's how Ted Cruz keeps winning.
That's right. That's the exact the plan, and that's the assertion, by the way, because this guy, as much as Mike Lindell liked to think this guy was on his side when he was talking about, he would actually, this guy was actually making a case that everybody who's in elected office in Texas in the last 10 years, on a, from the senators and the governors, lieutenant governors especially, are criminals who are manipulating the vote. And this seemed to throw, and the best part of that, by the way, was in that same beginning interview, Mike Lindell goes, "These Dominion machines," and the guy goes, "Oh, they don't use Dominion machines in Texas, and Dominion's not even a real challenge. They're too small to even worry about." And you could just see and this is the first 20 minutes of his first documentary. You can just see the color drain out of Mike's face. And of course, they just flip to another person. But this is in an interview with The Beast, the attorney for one of the incarcerated men, hacker Arturo Dalia, thought that people who came to see him work for the Secret Service and was terrified. The Daily Beast caught up with Dalia's lawyer, Nicola Nampaniello. I just love this story just for the names. Italy, we love you. Who confirmed the American's visit and said that his client was terrified that the people he presumed were American Secret Service agents were there to investigate him. He did not agree to be interrogated. In fact, no one should have had access to him without going through me. It's beyond absurd, Nampaniello asserted. The report adds the Italians in their 30s are convicted of hacking the computer system of an Italian military supply company, Leonardo's, which, of course, I mean, come on. Of course, the Italian military supply company is called Leonardo. SPA, which has nothing to do with U.S. satellites, American voting machines, or any election, or for that matter,
Q-snatch.
Before adding the plot proved untrue, though it still lives on as, quote, fact in the dark corners of QAnon's conspiracy network, and is now the focus of an internal investigation by the Italian Bureau of Prisons. Like, our crazy is wasting Italian tax dollars right now.
That's like amazing.
The Italians were one of the countries that were hit worst by the COVID epidemic in the very beginning.
Oh yeah, they were destroyed last April 2020. Ugh.
Oh, it's brutal. And yet they've got, they were spending money on oxygen, on respirators, on medication. They were trying to buy vaccines, and it's reassuring to know that Mike Lindell's impact in the world includes among it a bunch of folks wasting Italian tax dollars, chasing down
Q-snatch,
so that those funds don't go to elderly Italians on respirators.
Mm-mm.
And again, tell us again how Mike Lindell's just a lovable, gullible sap who just wants the best for America, and he may be out over his skis, but he really means well. No, he does not. I have come to the determination, and I've said it on my live stream a couple of times, but I used to think Mike Lindell was just kind of like harmless and kind of stupid and gullible, and that a bunch of people around him, like the guy who runs his network, were just living like ticks off this dog, much like the people who surround Trump. All of those things are true, except he absolutely is a jerk. Like, he's not a good person. And that's the issue. Like, that's the shift that's happening. And so that's where this, like, ongoing, this thing that's going to happen over Thanksgiving, I think sort of proves it. The idea that he's going to do this over Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That's like the family freedom.
Right.
America.
That's right. To just be able to, and by the way, we got to take a break, but when during the break, folks, contemplate the idea of maybe this Thanksgiving, this would be a good time to take a break from the more incendiary aspects of our politics in this country and remind everybody what they can be grateful for, especially as we continue to, battle what could be another spike because of unvaccinated people and the winter months approaching. There are serious things that serious people are trying to come up with serious solutions to. And all the while, and meanwhile, Mike Lindell wants to waste money, driving people who care about to create a worldwide deficit. Unbelievable. We'll be back.